Hey y'all, I'm Brianna on the mic, and that is my niecey baby Zaria in the chair, bald and ready for her wig install. So she is getting ready for this Wild Wave concert, and every time I do her hair, I just be so in awe because she gets so grown on me. But I'm going ahead and going in with the makeup closest to her skin complexion for her cap, and making sure I go ahead and put that all in the side where her part is going to be at. I do use HD caps, but I still do this step to make sure it blends all the way. So then, of course, after you do that and the cap is fully dry on their head, go ahead and cut the excess cap away around the perimeter of their forehead and around their ears, and just make sure that you're being careful not to snip your client. Yeah, really take your time so you can make sure that you get all of the excess cap off, and it should look exactly like this. Like, you shouldn't see none of their edges, and it should be bald, like giving scalp. And this is the wig that she will be putting on. It was a 613 unit, but I did custom color it this gray that she wanted to go with her outfit aesthetic, and I just thought it came out so cute. She was going for a Stormy vibe, and that is definitely what it gave. So a hack right here, she wants a side part on the left side of her head, but her frontal is a 13x4, and it doesn't go like, it's not a full frontal, so sometimes you're just gonna have to pull the wig itself over to the side they want it parted on, so that you can have enough parting space where that part is, if that makes sense. So yeah, you see how it's just more lace on the left side of her head. Yeah, I positioned it like that just so she can have enough parting space for her left side part. And I also just make sure it's snug on their head so that you won't get any of those wrinkles on the top where the lace is either, because sometimes that does happen. So you just want to make sure it's fitted snug on their head. But now I'm just going in with the same color makeup that I used on her cap on the lace, but I'm doing it very, very lightly because you don't want it to go through the lace and get on any of the hair, since the hair is very light. I do use witch hazel for my installs instead of the isopropyl alcohol, just because it can be too strong for some people and dry the skin out a little bit too much when you use the isopropyl alcohol. So the witch hazel is a little more hypoallergenic. And now I'm going in to smooth out my glue. As you can see, I do dot dot, not a lot, and I make sure I put a good inch of glue so that it can be thick enough to cover a good amount of the cap and her forehead, but still thin enough to smear it out so it can dry completely clear before I go in with my other layers. I did use about 4 layers of glue on her just because I know she was finna get active at this concert, and I do one side at a time just because this glue does dry fast, so it gives me enough time to really smear it out and get my layers thin. So like I said, I did a total of 4 layers. I made sure that my glue dried completely before, oh my god y'all, my voice is going out. I made sure it dried completely before I did all 4 of my layers in between. So my last layer, made sure that dried not completely clear. I let it get like frosty before it gets completely clear, and then I press my lace in. And I like to do this because I feel as if when you let it get frosty, by the time you press the lace into it, it will be completely clear and it will grasp onto the lace better because the lace would be drying into the glue while it's drying clear, if that makes sense. I'm so sorry for how my voice sound right now, y'all. I'm gonna try not to talk as much. Y'all, I be very firm while I'm pressing in my lace into my glue, so it do take me like probably 2 to 3 minutes to do this in real life. And I just go in with the back of my comb, the spine part, and press it in. And then after I do that a few times on both sides, I go in with the rat tail part of my comb as well and just make sure I'm getting the lace good into the glue. Now after I'm done pressing, before I go ahead and put my melt band on, I do like to carve out my part just so I can see how it's going to lay. And since you want a side part, I am going in with that C shape. So just starting my part on the side where she wants her part at, where the arch of her eyebrow is, and going all the way to the other side of her head in the C shape. Now y'all, don't judge me because this part's a little ghetto. I have forgot my wax stick at home, so I had to use like some Evan lace spray and then some like some firmer holding spray to do my little 1-2 with the hot comb. Like, but it still did what it needed to do. Like, if you're a real hairstylist, you gonna know what to use to make it work. But realistically, you need a wax stick. So if you have a wax stick, you go literally do what you just made me do, like part each side in sections. How many sections you part it in just depends on how thick the wig is. So on the left side of her side part, I'm pretty sure I just parted it in 2 sections. I did my little spray combo. You don't need to do this if you got a wax stick. You'll just use your wax stick, put it on there, and then smooth it out with the hot comb. And we're doing this so we can make sure our install is flat. You don't want no lumps, bumps, humps in the wig. So you're gonna take your time and do this. On the other side where the side part is, I will section it out in more sections just to make sure the side part lays flat and it's not lumpy or it's giving hat. We don't want that. And then I'm very more detailed with the top of the side part because you want it to have that lift in the front, but you still want it to be flat. So just watch and see how I do that. see, yeah, it's still very much flat, and no, her hair was not crunchy or anything like that. It was still very smooth because I was not ODing with the spray. I just did enough to get it to lay down. So now I'm going in to cut her lace off in sections before I use my eyebrow razor to cut the rest of the lace off. And I like to do it in sections because it gives me a more control cut while I'm doing it. Like, I can focus on getting one section at a time, focus on not cutting my client, and focus on getting as close to where the glue has dried at. At one point, I was not using eyebrow razors, but now I really prefer to use eyebrow razors because you can get the cleanest, closest cut, and it'll be more of a jagged look opposed to just using the scissors and cutting it straight across. But I do still use my scissors just to cut around the ears, just so I can make sure I don't slice nobody up, and it also just gives me more control while doing that as well. You always want to make sure that the wig fits comfortably around your client's ears, because not all wigs come with already made in ear holes, so you just want to make sure that that part around the ear is comfortable, because sometimes it can be very uncomfortable. Now, if you have any pieces that didn't stick all the way after you cut it, you just want to lift those little pieces up, put a dot of the lace glue you used on the back of your hand, and use the rat tail comb to just pick it up and smear it in up under those pieces, and really rub it in until it turns clear so that you can press the lace down into it. So once I got all my lace secured to her forehead with the lace glue, I'm going back in with the same makeup color that I used on her wig cap and on her lace to just do some touch-ups around the edges before I actually melt it. Now I'm going in with some Ebon Milk spray, and I use that in a piece of napkin just to spray and dab around her hairline. The napkin is really just to absorb any of the extra milk spray that may run down her forehead, just so it won't be messy or sticky and leave a residue. Now I'm just going in with my blow dryer for a few seconds just to make sure that dries so it won't be super tacky before I put down the milk band. But y'all see how it's giving scalp already? Like, honey is giving wise in the chair. All that gray hair is definitely coming out her scalp.
High volume, high volume, high volume, high volume, high volume.
Now I'm going in again with the same spray I used from earlier. It's like a frizz control spray that has a light hold to it, and I like to use this before I do my curls so that they can be polished and hold a bit better. And everybody likes that loose body wave curl look, so I do use my Babyliss large barrel to do my curls. And I always curl going towards the face, so you definitely want to do that, especially in the bang area. Curl it going towards the face, so hold the barrel downwards and pull it back towards you. That's the best way I can really explain it. And then I always squeeze my curl and let it cool in my hand before I drop it, just so the curl can set. And you can even pin the curls up for your curls to be tighter if need be. And then same thing on the other side, but now we're holding the barrel going upwards and still pulling it towards us, but away from the client's face.
Having good edges is your client being still.
Now we're figuring out the edges, so I always say to part out the top edge in like a triangle. So you want to start it from the arch of the triangle, the arch of your client's eyebrow to the end of their eyebrow, and that's going to be your first triangle. And then you do the one by the ear the same way. And I always take like a few pieces of hair above the part I parted out and just rip that part, and you'll see why later, because you really want it to give scalp right there near the sideburn area. And she holding the blow dryer. It's not on right now though, y'all, but I do get my clients to hold the blow dryer sometimes while I'm doing their edges, just so that it can dry in place as I'm molding it. But before I even do all that, I do just cut it in an angle so it could be a tapered look. And then you can't see, but I do take my small iron and curl the top one going up. And then once I get to the sideburn part, I curl that part going downward. So it should look like that after you're done. And I'm using some Design Essential mousse to mold her edges in place. And so when I do my edges, I do go in a C motion. Like if you're doing a finger wave, they'll tell you to go in S motions, but I'm going in C motions, pushing it forward and bringing it back. And now I'm going in with a little bit of spritz just to give the side part a bit more of a hold. And as you can see, the blow dryer is on now so that it could dry as I'm molding it in place. And I'm literally pushing it behind her ear and making sure it's blending in with that top edge as well.
High volume.
So now that we are basically done, I sprayed some spritz in my hand just to go over the top of the wig. This is not going to make your wig crunchy or anything, especially if you done already used the wax stick. It's really just to smooth down any flyaways or any imperfections that you see. Is going to make it look very, very smooth and flat. And then again, you don't want to use too many oily products when you're doing anything with 613 hair in lighter colors, because you don't want to stain or darken the hair. And now I'm going in with the same color I used for everything basically, and just going in to establish her part. And y'all, this makes all of the difference. Like, do not forget to go in with an angled brush and the foundation that matches closest to your client's complexion, especially while using lighter colors, because you definitely want it to give scalp, and it's definitely giving that honey. Like, you see how sharp that looks? And I make sure to take it all the way around the C-shaped part. And then I go in that area where I was snatching hair out of earlier in the video, just so the sideburn could give scalp as well. Y'all, she over here flinching like the hot comb really hot. But you want to really get in there when you're doing this lift, boy. You want that lift to be lifting so that bang can be banging. Y'all finna see, like, ooh, that looks so good. I just love the comb out part. And while I was combing out the hair, I did go in and comb out her edges as well, since I did mold them with mousse. And I like to comb out the edges when I'm doing lighter color installs, just so you can make sure that you see the edges and it's not just stuck to their foreheads and all clear looking. You want them to be seen. And I'm just cleaning it up with my scissors to make it sharper. Now, she did say she got this wig off of Amazon, so if y'all are interested just by the looks, I will put more of a description about it down below, and y'all can comment if y'all want the link to it. But overall, it was a pretty good unit, not too bad. And voila, this install came out very cute. She was definitely feeling herself, and I was definitely feeling it too. I love this color on her. Like, my niece, she can really pull off anything, so you'll definitely be seeing her more on my channel with more colors in the future. But yes, these are the final results. Your per, give us a thumbs up if you liked how this install turned out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Stay tuned. Bye.